The story begins with an American football match where a man named Nikki was sitting comfortably in the VIP stands with his girlfriend, Jas. The match was underway, but Nikki was more focused on the crowd than the game itself. He saw a beautiful girl leave her seat, and a mischievous idea came to his mind. He made a small bet with Jas to see how many people would look back at her. A man sitting there, Luian, said he wanted to take part, to which Nikki agreed. Everyone jokingly placed a $10 bet and started counting. When the girl left the stands, the final count showed that 7 people had looked back at her. Jas had guessed the closest number, so she won. Luian paid the money without hesitation and asked for the next round. This time, the bet was who would commit the next foul. Jas backed out, saying she had no knowledge of the game. However, Nikki jumped at the bet and bet $10,000. The bet was placed. As soon as the whistle blew, the referee signaled a foul. Nikki's bet turned out to be correct. He won the bet and pocketed the money. Even after losing, Luian became even more excited. He said, "This time, let's bet $5,000. The question this time was whether the player would pass the ball or run with it. Nikki was a little hesitant to bet $5,000, but finally agreed. Luian guessed he would run, and Nikki said he would pass. As soon as the whistle blew, the player actually ran with the ball, causing Nikki to lose $5,000. Nikki decided, "It's okay, I lost $5,000. Let's stop now." He asked Jas to go for coffee, but Luian insisted. "You're sitting in the VIP lounge, you have money. What can $5,000 do? Play another bet, this time for $10,000. Finally, Nikki agreed, and the question remained. Nikki predicted that the player would make the next pass successfully, but the other team intercepted it. Nikki had lost $15,000. Nikki was a little upset as he withdrew the money. He thought for a while and said, "Let's bet $50,000 this time." Jas was shocked to hear this, but Nikki looked angry. Luck wasn't on his side at this point. He lost the next bet again, forcing him to pay another $50,000. Jas immediately told him to stop, but Nikki's anger and ego got the better of him. Without thinking, he placed his next bet for $100,000. Luian mocked him and asked, "Do you have that much money?" Nikki threw a whole bundle of cash on the table without saying anything. Luian became excited. Nikki betted that the next pass would be intercepted and not completed. But this time, the pass was successful. Nikki had lost millions of dollars and was at a loss. He couldn't figure out how to get out of this predicament. Jas was also very surprised, but now the game had reached a very intense level. Nikki said, "I have $1 million left. Let's bet the entire amount and see who wins." This time, the decision will be made by playing cards. Luian was continuously winning, so now he was going crazy with happiness. He started looking at Nikki like an ATM machine. Luian drew his card, which was a 5. Now Nikki just had to draw a card bigger than 5. The chances of winning were very high. Nikki picked up the card and turned it with great confidence, but his card turned out to be a 3. Seeing this, Jas immediately fell down from the chair. When Nikki had started the game, he was in the mood to bet only $4,000, but by now he had lost more than $1 million. After this shameful defeat, he had nothing left to say, so he quietly took Jas's hand and started taking her out. He was very sad, but Luian still started teasing him and said that this is the result of playing with the master's son. Nikki stopped and took a look. He then bet his final $1 million. Now the idea was a bit new. Nikki challenged Luian to pick any random player with binoculars. If Nikki guessed their jersey number correctly, he would win. Luian was a little confused by this and said, "This is a brainstorming game." He felt as if Nikki was shooting himself in the foot. He was a little suspicious that Nikki might be cheating. To allay his doubts, Nikki said, "Okay, I won't even guess. This time, Jas will guess." Jas looked at Nikki angrily. She couldn't understand what was going on. What chance was there that among so many people, the one whose jersey number she would name would be the one? Saying this, she started to leave, but Luian's security guard stopped her, and a small scuffle broke out between them. Jas calmed herself down a bit. Nikki told her to just look around the field and say the number that seemed like hers. Luian picked up the binoculars and chose a player, after which Jas took the binoculars and scanned the entire field, looking everywhere for a jersey number. She wondered how to guess. Then she spotted a familiar face and remembered Nikki's advice to choose the number that felt like her own. Their friend Farhad was wearing jersey number 55. Jas realized this was all part of Nikki's plan. She said 55, and that was the correct answer. Luyan was stunned by her answer. Jas also wondered for a moment how Nikki knew that Luyan would select that number, but at this point, all that wasn't important. They had already won the bet. They both made a profit of $1 million and got all their lost money back. They left the stadium with 2 large bags full of cash. In the car, Nikki told Jas that this was all part of their plan. They had been tracking Luyan for quite some time. Luyan was famous in high society for his gambling habit. Nikki's team had planned this entire operation. As soon as Luyan stepped out of his hotel room, the number 55 was implanted in his subconscious mind. The security guard's lapel pin also had 55 written on it. Signboards on the way to the stadium also had the same number. While driving to the match, they played a song in Luyan's car which repeatedly hinted at the number 55. The song contained a sound like 55, 124 times, which repeatedly drew Luyan's mind to that number. He was also shown a photo of Farhad, which formed a visual memory. When he was watching through binoculars, his mind naturally went to the number 55, and Jas said 55 as soon as she saw Farhad. Jas was not told anything in advance so that her expressions remained completely genuine throughout the game, so that no one would suspect them. Hearing all this, Jas was completely impressed with Nikki. The story then goes back to a few days ago. Nikki was lying on a bed in a room, and a man held a gun to his head. He had his gun pointed at Nikki, and Jas was sitting next to him, whom Nikki had met just a few days ago. It was clearly visible that someone had trapped Nikki, but there was no sign of fear on his face. He simply said, "I don't have a single penny. If you want to shoot, then shoot." The man with the gun understood his reactions and immediately recognized that this man is a player. He is a bigger con man than them, and his guess was absolutely correct. Nikki is a great con man who commits petty thefts very cleverly. Jas had trapped him and brought him to this room, but Nikki saw a natural talent in Jas. Well, when the man with the gun left, Nikki told Jas, "You have a gift, and if you polish this power of cheating people well, then all your losses will be gone." Nikki said that it's a family business. His father and his grandfather were all con men. He's a hereditary con man. Every trick, every move was a game for him. Without wasting any time, Jas took out some money and said, "I want to learn from you." Nikki didn't think it was necessary to waste any time either. While leaving, Nikki stole one of Jas's rings, and Jas didn't even realize it. By the time Jas realized what had happened, her watch was also missing. When she checked her handbag, Nikki had already taken her wallet. After all these exploits, Nikki said that dexterity, timing, and a little style are all that's needed for this job. A few months later, Jas tracked him down in New Orleans, where Nikki had started building a new team. Their meeting was actually a test. He wanted to see if Jas was worthy of joining their team. When Jas agreed, Nikki sent her to a fair with one of the team members. Today was Jas's first practical assignment. She was asking people for directions with a map in her hand. When her partner secretly stole a tourist's camera lens, another teammate deliberately bumped a man, and Jas took his wallet. Jas was starting to gain some confidence in her stealing style. Using chopsticks, she took another woman's wallet from her bag, and everything was so smooth that no one suspected anything. Nikki was watching all this from the top of a building. He told the team to leave her alone. Now it was her turn to fly. Jas began stealing expensive items one after another, and with each theft, Nikki's respect for her grew. Now Nikki sent her on another big assignment. This time it was high-tech fraud. With the help of special lenses, they could see other people's cards. There was also a system for stealing credit cards. The stolen card was secretly sent to a teammate, where a device would copy the data, and then the card would be returned to the same person's pocket. Another fraud system was a fake ATM machine. Farhad would quietly remove the machine and take all the data. All the credit cards were used to purchase luxury items, and ultimately, their data would be sold on the black market. One day, Jas saw a beautiful necklace and wore it, but Nikki insisted she take it off immediately. He sternly explained that all items had to be sold, nothing should be personal. This was the first time Jas was witnessing such a large-scale fraud. The next day, Jas and Farhad were roaming a wealthy area. Their job was to create a distraction. Farhad fainted and Jas started acting, screaming, "Please, someone, help us." The rest of the team took advantage by stealing belongings from the wealthy neighborhood. Then, the entire team escaped in an ambulance. They all celebrated that night. Nikki praised everyone for having earned $1.2 million in just 1 week. The next day, the team was supposed to split up. All documents were destroyed. However, the former members knew that Nikki still had one last mission. They gave him $1.2 million in cash and warned Jas not to gamble it away. The next morning, Nikki took Jas to the stadium's VIP lounge. He staged a full-on show in front of Jas, showing her how they could earn $1 million in just minutes. By then, Jas had begun to fall in love with Nikki. She assumed she was his girlfriend, but Nikki had included her in his group from the very beginning, only to con her. When everything was over, Nikki gave her $80,000 in cash and finally said goodbye. Jas looked at him, tears in her eyes. She was heartbroken. On one hand, she had truly fallen in love with Nikki. On the other hand, she felt that $80,000 was too little considering Nikki had just earned $1 million. But there was no room for emotions in Nikki's world, and Jas had now seen his true colors. Nearly 3 years later, we see Nikki in a different city. His eyes were tired, and it was clear that he was about to run out of money. During lunch, he had a meeting with Garia, the owner of a race car team. Garia's research team had developed a new algorithm called EXR. For this, they hired Nikki. The plan was simple. Nikki would pretend to be their chief engineer. Then they would pretend that there was a fight between him and Garia to lure other teams into their trap. Afterward, Nikki would sell a fake version of EXR. According to the deal, Nikki was to receive €1 million for this job. Nikki thought it was a joke. He could have pulled off such a simple scam even in his sleep. But Garia's butler had no confidence in him. He directly threatened Nikki, saying, "If you mess up, I'll shoot you straight in the chest." Nikki wore a tuxedo and left for a party that evening. Their plan fell apart when Jas entered the room, descending the stairs in a red dress and went straight to Garia's embrace. Nikki was stunned. He hadn't seen Jas in 3 years, and now she was with someone else, the man who had hired him. Jas calmly approached Nikki and said, "I'm no longer a con man, and whatever happened 3 years ago means nothing." She also said that Garia didn't know anything about Nikki's past relationship, and that it would be better if it remained hidden. Hearing all this, Nikki's blood boiled. He picked up a glass of vodka and emptied it in one go. Now, he was already feeling angry with Garia, and he put up a huge fight in front of everyone. The rival racing team loved this drama. Security soon removed him from the party, but now he had the rival team's business card in his hand. The next morning, Nikki met the owner of the McLaren team. He told him directly that he wanted to sell the EXR system for €3 million. Nikki assured him that the complete software would be delivered within 48 hours. Meanwhile, Jas met Farhad on the street. Farhad told her that Nikki still loved her. Farhad gave Jas a box containing the very necklace she had liked. Jas's heart melted at the sight of the necklace. She still felt something for him. Well, soon the deal day arrived, and Nikki gave the software to the owner of the McLaren team. In return, a burly man handed him €3 million. But Nikki secretly sold every copy of the software to all the racing teams. That night, instead of running away, Nikki messaged Jas saying that if she arrived in time, they could escape together. Nikki waited, but no one came. At the last moment, when he gave up and was about to leave, Jas arrived. At that very moment, the same burly man who had given him €3 million appeared before Nikki. In fact, he was Garia's man. Now he had discovered the truth. Nikki had sold genuine software, not fake. Now Garia's men captured Nikki and Jas, and all the cash was placed in front of Garia. Garia was furious. The biggest problem was that Garia couldn't understand how Nikki had stolen the genuine software. When he didn't say anything, Garia pinched Jas's nose, causing her to struggle for breath. Nikki was devastated. He revealed everything. He had awakened Jas's old love for him by making her wear a necklace with a special chip embedded in it. As soon as Garia opened the software, Nikki stole his password and data through the necklace. Jas was heartbroken. Tears welled up in her eyes. Garia explained that Jas wasn't his girlfriend. "I know she was with me for the money." Jas also confessed that she only wanted to steal his collection of expensive watches. Nikki was shocked that Jas had pretended to be in love with Garia to spite him. Now, both were caught. Garia's butler, the butcher, asked how Nikki stole the software. As soon as Nikki started speaking, the butcher fired a shot, the bullet piercing Nikki's chest. Garia's face turned pale. Panicked, Garia fled the warehouse. Jas was crying profusely, but the butcher said there was no need to be afraid. He was actually Nikki's man, and to be honest, I am his father. He had deliberately shot Nikki in a way that avoided the heart. He stabilized the air pressure in Nikki's chest. Suddenly, Nikki opened his eyes again. He was still alive. Nikki was actually an orphan and had been raised by this butler. He had taught Nikki all these thieving skills. The butler left them on the side of the road and took all the money. Nikki didn't find anything left for himself, but on the way to the hospital, Nikki saw that Garia's €200,000 watch was in Jas's hand. Both of them looked at each other and smiled. With this trickery and dexterity, they will not die of hunger in any corner of the world. If you enjoy what we do here, please like the video and subscribe to this channel to keep us motivated. See you on the next video.